It's been a 2-year wait, but they've arrived. Pennine Express and Caledonian Sleeper Mark 5 coaches from Accurascale. They're here. Celebrating Scotland. Ooh, this is a nice one. Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome back to Moorland Model Railway. Yes, the Caledonian Sleeper coaches have come, and so have the Pennine Express coaches. We'll have a look at them in the video. It is quite a long video. I was asked to do a bit of a layout tour, so I've done that as well. Let's get on with it. We'll start with the overview of the layout. This is especially for Mark from Donegal in sunny Ireland, who we were chatting the other night on his stream about layouts, and he was showing us his new loft where his new layout's going to be, and it was absolutely massive. And I said, well, mine's only 13 foot by 7 foot, and he couldn't believe it. So I said I'd do a quick overview of the layout. So this is where we are. This is what we'll start with. Yeah, so this is the main layout. Like I say, it's about 13 foot long. It's a little, just a couple of inches longer than 13 foot by about 7 foot 3 inches wide. However, the tracks don't go 7 foot 3 inches wide. So that's the main layout, and that's the view that I get when I'm actually operating the thing. And then I'll turn you very, very slowly, hopefully, because just at the side here, we have another little bit that juts out, which is about 4 foot by 3 foot wide. And that is sort of the TMD area. Now, although it's joined up to the main layout, it is also isolated. So there's isolated joiners. So it does run all on its own. It is all wired up to the bus wire. So if I ever do get around to block detection, whether I ever get to that point, it is already set up so that I can do block detection in sort of different areas. And just in front of the TMD is a small board with all the electrics on. The power source for the layout. So as you can sort of see, the main layout is run on the Digitrack system, and it is the DCS 210, and there is a circuit breaker wired in between the layout, the bus wire, and the power source. So that's what you can see just in here. Excuse my finger. There's also on there an amp meter, a voltmeter. So it's saying 14.34 volts, 0.74 amps pulling at the moment. I've got nothing running, but there's quite a few trains on there with lights on. That'll be the phone then. Oh well. There's also a LocoNet point there underneath that. The signal box just keeps it clean. So that's just keeping that clean. And then next to that is my Dynamis, which runs the top line. We'll look at that in a minute. So we've got the two separate systems running. As well as running the upper track, the Dynamis system also runs or powers the test track, the programming track. On there we've got the rolling road, so I can run in 2 locos or 3 locos depending on how many wheels they've got. So they can be running in. I always run in my locos on the rolling road for about an hour before they go onto the main track, and then you know they're not going to get stuck anywhere. Also got the wheel cleaning contraption that is there, that I've sort of pinched that idea off someone. I can't remember who it was. And so yeah, so it does all that as well. So yeah, this is the quick closer look at the TMD area. Not a lot in there at the moment. Just got a class 47 that's been taken in for a new engine. And there's the engine just sitting there on blocks, waiting to be fitted in by the engineers at some point. So that's from West Hill Wagon Works. My brother got me that for Christmas, very kindly. A few other little items that he's got me at Christmas, just on the back of the Stillbart rail van. There's a cable trailer, so they're just off out somewhere. So yeah, so at the moment I'm just building up all the items around the TMD area. So that's it, basically. So all the buildings have got lights. Just don't take too much notice of the barometer and thermometer on top of the viaduct. Just keeps my temperature. Yeah, so all the buildings have got lights in, and I will be improving this area even more. I'm hoping to get eventually the West Hill Wagon Works TMD kit, so hopefully I'll fit that in at some point. So we'll start with the top line, and this is sort of not really a heritage line, but more of a local line that has a lot of rail tour type stock on it. I just run anything on it basically. So at the moment I've got the Northern Bell Pullman, which is a class 47 and not a class 57. So it's slightly a little bit different. So yeah, that's the line on the top. Nice bridge there, that's scale model scenery. And it also has the sort of countryside village scene on the top. Once again, all the buildings are lit up here, and it actually does go around and the road carries on around, and we'll go and take a closer look. But yeah, these buildings are all being improved, as some of the buildings, as I've shown on a previous video, all the roofs have been taken off and replaced with plastic roofs instead of the cardboard. Much easier to keep clean, much easier, and they do look better. So that's the gardens of the houses. And I've got other stuff to go in there as well. So, and I've got stuff on order. So yeah, that's the village, supposedly representing a little bit of a Staffordshire Moorlandsy type village, sort of not gritstone, not limestone, it's more of a shaly type stone. So that's the look that I was going for. And it's still got the village school that is based a little bit around Flash School, if anybody knows Flash. Up in the Peak District, it is the highest village, I think, in the country. And the school is still there, but no kids go to it anymore, unfortunately. So that's sort of the village type look that I was after. And we'll just pop under the boards and have a closer look. We're now on hands-free, so I apologise for any wobbliness. This is the other side of the village. So you can see the school there, and there's the local pub, and the view down the village road. So I've sort of done a little bit of a photo trick there to make it look like the road's going into the woodland and down into the main part of the village at the back. And we've also got a group at the pub just having a drink, cycling today, and obviously the Harry Shaw coach is in, so they've obviously got a bus trip in the sort of pub cum hotel. Don't know what's happening there. And then alongside that is the old station house and the steps that go down to the station, to the Little Moor station. So the village is called Little Moor. Like I say, it's based, sort of very loosely based on the Staffordshire Moorlands. And there we've got a bit of a meadow. There are some wildflowers in there somewhere. As you can see them. So a bit of a wildflower meadow. Different types of grasses, different coloured grasses. Along to the station. Main station building. And just behind the station is sort of the agricultural area. So this is sort of the transition between the village and the moorland. So not great grass, not great fields here in the Staffordshire Moorlands. So there's shorthorns, so they can sort of cope with the rough grass. And from there we sort of get into the more boggy areas. So just a lonesome barn there, and a couple of tractors, a couple of farmers feeding the sheep and the cattle. Just in front of the tunnel area where there's another car park. Lots of car parks in the Peak District that you can get out and go for a walk. A couple of guys there walking. Footpath signs and gates everywhere. And so we got Belted Galloways in this area. They can cope with all this really rank grass. It's not very good, but they can cope with it as well as the sheep. Then we have a gap, and there's going to be a river in there, river scene, or sort of, yeah, river scene really. And that leads on to my farm area that I did for one of the competitions. And it's got a stream coming down, and that'll feed into the river. So yeah, it's all lit up once again. Lots of different little scenarios in here. So the guy waiting with his sheep, with his sheepdogs, the young sheepdogs. We just get this to focus in. of a rat on the hay bales. More walkers. It's not all finished off yet. It's not finished at all, this. So now the sheep being brought in by a couple of other dogs and the shepherd. So there is a video out that shows how I did that. So all this is still going to be finished off. I don't finish anything off. I don't come back to things and think I could do that a bit better. So there is a lane from the farm that goes down at the back of this farming area, but this has been taken over by the Forestry Commission. So there are the Forestry Commission guys all just getting ready to go out to work. So they've got a lean-to with a few vehicles in, and then obviously the housing, so they get houses. Oh crikey. And the barn has been changed over to a workshop come office area, and that is right next to the forestry bit. A bit of a forest, wild animals in there, so there are deer somewhere, and there's peregrine falcons as well on the rocks. There's one, look, peregrine falcon there, and another one right there. So we've got this forestry area. So this is a little bit sort of Goit Valley, Buxton. So you got the old railway line, the cutting, all that's got to be ballasted, and then you've got the Moorland bit on the top, and you got the guys actually doing a bit of shooting. So that's the Moorland area with lots of walkers on there as well, and it goes up to what would be Shining Tor, if anyone knows that area. So lots of, like I say, lots of walkers up there. Then that just sort of leads on to the main town at the back, and then obviously the main station area on the main lines. So this is the main station. We've seen it all before on many videos. One thing that I've had to do is raise the height of the footbridge to allow the trains with pantographs on to get underneath, and it'll also allow me to put in the overhead cables, the overhead wires for those trains. A lot of it's lit up. I haven't got any lamps yet. They'll be fitted at some point. So lots of people being added onto the station. These are fine scale figures, so then I have to paint them all up. Young lady taking a selfie on top of the bridge. Yeah, so there's lots of fine scale figures here, including pigeons. More pigeons. There's pigeons everywhere, but pigeons do go onto stations. So that's the sort of the main overview of the station area, and then the town. And where I'm standing right in the middle, I'm not quite sure of how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to have a gap as to where I'm standing. So from that building there will be a gap, and the gap will come around, but this bit here will be filled in. So that'll be joined up. There will be something, there'll be a waterfall, that's the plan, a waterfall coming off there and sort of going down into the forestry area. So back to the village, well, the town. So all these buildings down in the town are lit. They do have lights, but they're on a sequence, so the lights go on and off, just to give it a bit more realism. I think it's just come on there, or one of them has. So yeah, so those lights are all wired up, and they're going to have new roofs as well. I've already started there. I've said that in the past, that I've started the roofs, so the roofs will be sort of finished. So we've got the Caledonian sleeper there. We'll have a closer look at that shortly. And we've obviously got a young lady there taking photographs of it. Now that's, someone's got to guess who that could be. So we're back around the front side of the layout. So that's basically the top scenic part of the layout. We're now going to go underneath. So these are the upper storage levels. There are 5 tracks. 4 of them go onto the main line into the station, and then there's one line, the very inside line, is just a shuttle between the platform 1 and the storage area. So that train just goes off on its own. So that's the upper storage. So we'll drop down another level past all the wiring, and we'll have a look at the lower level storage. So yeah, so this is the entrance to the lower level storage. 7 storage tracks. They run for about 12 to 14 feet in length, although I can't get 14-footer trains in there. Obviously there are points to get them back to the main line. So we'll go and have a look underneath. So yeah, so these are the lines underneath. Different trains on the different areas. So it is lit. Just banging my head as I'm getting underneath. So it works out quite well. I can see all this from up at the top, and that's all the accessory wiring, the accessory bus going in. So that is the overview of the layout. As I've said, it's 13 foot by 7, but obviously when you're filming you can make it look a lot bigger just by a few different shots. Okay, so we'll have a look at the Caledonian sleeper now, and the Mark V coaches, the sleeper coaches, and hopefully by the time I'm doing this video, the Mark V Trans-Pennine coaches will be here as well. So we'll have a look at those. So we'll go back under and have a look at the loco. Okay, so it's been quite a long time to wait, 2 years, but yes, they finally arrived. This is the Trans-Pennine Express coach in stock from Accurascale. Yes, I've fitted in a chip in the DVT, but all the rest comes lit, so there's lights in everything. You switch them on and off with a wand, and it's a real good system. Really pleased with it. So yeah, so I've fitted the chip in, as I said, and I've also put passengers in this front, well, in the DVT, and the rest will have passengers fitted as and when I've painted them. It just takes quite a while to paint them all. But yeah, really pleased with it, and it runs really well with the Class 68. So we'll just go out of shot and you'll see all the other carriages. I'll just turn the lights off so you can see the lights. And the other loco, well, the coaching stock to come is the Caledonian sleeper. So it goes with the loco that came at Christmas. So it's slowly coming around. And we'll have a quick look at the loco and the coaches. We'll go through the startup sequence. I'm not going to go and do a full review on this, but it's quite good. I like how it starts up and the pantograph automatically comes up and everything else. The lights come on in the cab and then go off as it moves away. So it's some nice touches from Accurascale. So here we go. We'll go through the startup sequence. I'll just start it up and you can see how it all happens. Once again, all the coaches are lit, so they all light up, and I haven't found any light bleed or anything with them. Absolute excellent product. And we'll just see it go off. The one thing I do like is in the cab that the instrument panels stay lit when the lights go off. It's really quite good. So there they go. All very subtly lit. Very impressive. As I say, they've been 2 years in the coming. I ordered those January the 25th, 2021. So another nice touch from Accurascale is the fact that you can have the different name boards. So this one is going to Aberdeen, as you can see. Each coach has got its own, so you've got different letters for each coach. And you're given the opportunity to go to either London or Aberdeen with my pack. So a really nice touch. And the same with the TPE Mark 5s. I can either go to Liverpool Lime Street or I can go to Scarborough. Really nice touch.
Huddersfield, Leeds, York and Scarborough. Platform 5 for the 12:15 Trans-Pennine Express service to Scarborough. The next train to arrive at platform 5 will be the 12:15 Trans-Pennine Express service to Scarborough. Calling at Stockport, Ashton-under-Lyne, Huddersfield, Leeds, York and Scarborough. Platform 5 for the 12:15 Trans-Pennine Express service to Scarborough. Express service to Liverpool Line Street. Calling at Stockport, Manchester Airport, Manchester Piccadilly, Manchester Oxford Road, and Liverpool Line Street. Platform 5 for the 3035 Trans-Pennine Express service to Liverpool Line Street. Stand well back from the platform edge. The next train at platform 5 does not stop here. Stand back from the edge of platform 5. The next train is not scheduled to stop.
Okay, so that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll catch you all again real soon. Okay, so from me, Andy, here at Moorland, I'll say goodbye. Bye-bye.